Good evening. Welcome to Maura's Epic 10-Minute Variety Show. I'm Maura, and it's such a beautiful night. I just thought maybe we should meet out here for a change. This is our pool. Would you like a tour? Come on, follow me. You can do it. Don't be afraid. I got you. Can you see? We have some lights down at this end that are so pretty. Right now it's red. Oh, now it's changing. Let's see if you can see it. Wait, you can't. You're not going to be able to see me. But this is this amazing pool in our backyard. It has a water slide. I'll go over to the water slide so you can see. I came down at once, almost. I got stuck right at the end. And here, you probably don't know about this, we have a little like cave in here. And there's a waterfall, so two lovers can hang out. I'm going to disappear. Watch. I'm gone. I'm inside the lover's cave. Now I'm back. It's just great. All right. Don't get nervous. I'm an expert at this. Don't try it at home. Watch. Ooh, I just swung right around there. Do you like my dress? I know you can't see it too well, but it's my daughter-in-law's. If you tuned in the other evening, you saw that she brought me a suitcase full of beautiful clothing. I said, don't worry, I'm going to take really good care of it. It's going to come back to you as good or better than when I received it. All right. So I think the reason I wanted to talk to you here today, partly because when I put this dress on, it's so colorful, and I was reminded of this play that I wrote called Fantasia de Colores, which of course means fantasy of color. And it's a story about a woman named Gloria and her daughter Bibi. They live in Iowa, of all places. Now, if you're from Iowa, I'm sure it's great, but it was very brown and yellow and white, not colorful, shall we say. Well, Gloria, once upon a time when she was young, had a great love. Bibi, when she's still young, but when she was younger, she had a great love, but it was only in her mind. But either way, love is love, whether it's real or not. If it's a fantasy, it's still love, isn't it? In this home they live in Iowa, Gloria has a husband. He's in the bedroom. He stays in there most of the time. He's had a stroke, and it really couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Nothing against strokes, but this guy, monster. They just seem to exist in my plays. I don't know what it is. So there's Gloria with, I haven't mentioned that Bibi's very depressed. That kind of depression, that sort of the Grey Gardens variety, if you're familiar with that story. So there's Gloria. She's dramatic. I don't know where I came up with this character, but she's dramatic, and she yearns so much for something other than what she has. Well, one night, Gloria and Bibi, it's dinner time, and there's nothing in the house to speak of. And nobody will deliver food to them. Why? Because Gloria is really rude. They even try. She calls and tries to disguise her voice and explain, oh, no, it's not Gloria. It's her sister. They don't buy it. They're starving. So Bibi, out of frustration, goes into the refrigerator to, one of those meals you put together. You're going to make soup, whatever's in there. She opens the freezer. And way in the back of that freezer are some mushrooms. Now, I don't know how long they've been in there. I kind of suspect, though, I wouldn't swear to this in court, but I suspect that Bibi's sister, Abigail, that they had belonged to her. Abigail was very fanciful. She believed she could fly, and one night she stood on the balcony of their house and she leapt to her death. I think these were her mushrooms. So Bibi makes the soup, and they eat the soup. And all at once, Gloria's looking at her daughter, Bibi, and Bibi's hair is kind of rising up, almost like static electricity, only more. And it's wildly colorful and sparkling, and just like that, they're in Mexico, these two. It's a little like The Wizard of Oz, except instead of getting hit on the head, they eat magic mushrooms. So one night, and they're at a convent, very sexy somehow, but it's a convent. And it's Carnival. You know what Carnival is in Latin America and Mexico. And they're in this convent, it's kind of on top of a mountain, and they can look down into the valley, and there's the villagers reveling and singing and dancing. And it's so wonderful and so beautiful. And in this little dinner party, of course, they're drinking tequila. And of course, Gloria says, I went to Carnival once. My girlfriend Julia, they say Julia in Mexico, invited me home with her on school break. It was very colorful, the costumes, and of course, everybody drinks tequila. That was a long time ago, though. Nobody was taking drugs in those days. Thank God both Julia and I could speak French. With that nosy family of hers, we never could have arranged anything, certainly not to go to Carnival. The Mexicans are, well, let's just say they're protective of their daughters. You know, the craziest thing happened. I was in the street. I was dancing. And then I was swept up in a man's arms. He was wearing a crown. And then someone put a crown on me, or it just appeared suddenly on my head. And there was light coming from it. I suppose it had batteries of some kind. You have no idea of the power of these people dancing and singing, and it was religious in its nature. How do I know? Because of their faces. They were ecstatic. There's no other word for it. And I suppose I was too. I certainly felt ecstatic. And then this man kissed me, and we were spinning, or we were standing still and the world was spinning. And I closed my eyes, and when I opened them, there was Julia in my arms. I had been kissing her. Oh, heavens, I suppose by now she's married with a brood. She was very Mexican, you know, Catholic, religious family. Her brother was a priest. They had a husband picked out for her. What was his name? Fernando or Juan? It doesn't matter. A big, hulking figure. I remember he had hairy arms. And Julia was truly an aristocrat. Spoke, I don't know, 4 or 5 languages. Rode a horse like a general. One morning, she woke me up just before dawn and insisted we go for a ride. Of course, I barely rode, and she insisted on bareback. Have you ever tried it? The only way to stay on the horse is to hang on for dear life. You know, when you're moving fast like that, when it all depends on the powers of the earth and the sun and the sky and the beating heart of your companion, when you've had an experience like that, you never really get over it. Life goes on, you turn corner after corner, but the pulse of your life can never be the same when you have lived for a moment on the lip of eternity. And that's Gloria's story. And that's all I have for you tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll come back tomorrow night. Until then, say adios, hasta mañana, and especially, vaya con Dios.